You know, if you're like me, uh, you watch your team play like since you were young, and they play good football every time. Like people will tell you from back home. I grew up in a village, so we didn't have electricity, and every weekend I would go from house to house, like looking for a house that had basically charged their car battery, because asilbuka kanjalo ibhola charge battery, and then on Saturday we watch football together. And I would go from house to house to see ukuthi ubani ochargile namhlanje so that I can go watch. And it was worth it, you know. It was worth it because then you get to watch your team, or shoes, or Zwane, J, Chiefs, performer. And they did lose at times. They did lose, but when they did lose, you would have seen the fight. They would have tried, and the coaches did seem to know what they were doing. They knew how to play players, where to play players. I didn't know much about tactics. I just watched and was entertained, cross goalie. But what I'm watching right now is, it's just painful to watch. Because I can come here every weekend and seem like this guy's always angry, and you are just always trying to be negative, but at times there's like nothing to be positive about. Really, I don't know what to say. Like, do you know the pain that you feel right here in your stomach and your heart? It's like it's being dragged in. It's like your body wants you to feel the pain. And that's what's happening. So, we can talk about the match. First of all, shout out to the fans that went to the stadium. You guys, I saw you were singing, trying to encourage the team. There was no nonsense of booing your own players, and I know people were frustrated about certain players, but no one was booing any Kaizer Chiefs player, which is good. We don't want this toxic thing you boo players of your own team. So that was good. Shout out to everyone who went to the game. So one of the first thing that I noticed today, usually I'm in energy, I'm angry, but I'm not angry, I'm just sad. Utoli being out, suspended. The first thing that coach said when he was being interviewed was that now that Utoli is out, Machine is playing. And it clicked at that very moment. The coach is insisting on playing Umshin as a winger. So I'm guessing that's why Ngasitholi this game, because ekhanda la coach Udoli is basically the one who has replaced Umshin. But from what we watched last season, when Umshin was playing, he wasn't playing as a winger. He was playing either as number 10 or number 8. Okay, some people, that language may confuse them. So Bedlala is an attacking midfielder or is a central midfield. So number 10, I'm saying the person behind the strike. It's number 8, I mean to the right of number 6, like on the side. Number 10 is central, number 8 is a bit to the right. And from the start, if you're playing a player out of position, if they're of quality, which Ungobo is, they will still give you something. And we saw Guti, he kept on doing things for us, but usually is more effective when he drives forward with the ball from centrally, not when he has to invert from the wing and invert inside and then try to. And from time to time, if you realize, he did lose the ball because that's not like his ideal position. And just taking him and playing him there, because Umshin could have easily slotted in number 8 lapha esweni, and then because bedlala 4-3-3, and then Unange be on the bench, and then Ukole hold, right? And then Pambi league, even if ngokuyathanda ukudlala Parker, push Parker to play forward, or just take out even Nenu Parker and play someone like Usehot. And the sad thing, when Andrew Arenza was asked, what do you expect from Chiefs? They are a threat aerially. Everyone knows that's our game. Aerial balls. We don't try to play the balls in behind for players like Oseho to be quick. Bengadlala kwa right, provide speed kwa left. Upilia to a dribblation and then wait for Ufrosla to come and then across. But that wasn't happening. And Unukovic was still playing as a winger. Upiliat was central. And we saw Uti, he did more when he was now out wide Upiliat. And it's difficult, because when I saw 4-3-3, I was like, okay, that's better. But then the tactics that you set out to play with should also fit the personnel that you have. And there's this insistence of a coach to play Umuntu that is supposed to play as a target man, and he's played as a winger. And when Nukovic was taken out, then Castro came in and played centrally. Now I have two issues with that. Number one, why did you not play Nukovic centrally? Because Maukashel Polage over the top, he's the one who's gonna hold the ball up and bring other players into the game, midfielders running in. But the second thing is, if you bring in Castro, that's like a like-for-like change, because you are bringing someone else who's an aerial threat. When aerial threat is born in the threat that we had in the first half wasn't coming from Nukovic. The threat that we have was when Biliat had the ball and tried to play it with someone else. But the threat that we had was Biliat, or was when Ungob was on the ball, and then he would play those diagonal balls, and then they would land Biliat. And most of the times, Biliat was offside or someone else was offside. So then why are we not trying to use what seems to be working? Instead, we are forcing the system that does not look like it's working. And there was some things like that I want to give credit to the team for. Biliat had a good game, I think, and his first touch is phenomenal. I'm supposed to be saying this with so much energy, but guys, it's painful. Because honestly, I still had hopes that my team would qualify for the Champions League. Yeah, it's great, Maybe Umuntu next year would get the chance to travel and with the team. But that's not happening. And Uchesika last week, she was saying that Sundowns has not achieved what we've achieved even during their dominance, which is not true. Because if you look at ilogo Sundowns, ngenhla kwayo kune-star, and ngenhla kwelogo Kaizer Chiefs akuna-star, which means we've only dominated South Africa, but not Africa. We are just known for being big, but we are becoming small, because even our approach is not big, but we are just here. South Africa, historically, we have most championships, but even big teams like our Blackburn Rovers. Upen, when he played for Blackburn Rovers, that was a big team. But who talks about Blackburn Rovers now? No one. And I know well we're not at that point we're getting relegated, but I think it starts with things like this. We overlook the coach. He was the last one to win us something. I understand that, but this season, we don't look like we are winning. We don't look threatening. Like, there's one thing that I've complained about for the past few weeks. Ufrosla playing on the left, Gaslimaza Leon, because he is not left-footed. And so many times when we had a switch of the ball, which was a good thing, by the way, by the team, when we had the switch of the ball to the left, there was always that free space and no one was marked usually. Even the two chances that we missed, Konalaba bloke Konoto Upiliat and Konala Upaka Misekon. If there was a left-footed player coming in late there, they were just going to hit the ball first time across the goal. But since most of the team, they're just right-footed, left-footed, and very positioning yake being on that position. But if we had a left-footed left back, or maybe even a winger on that side, Usehota or Mashian, we would have used that to go to, okay, since they don't seem to be marking the back post, then when the winger or full back arrives, they hit the ball first time across. And another thing that was said, which even when we did get to the front, like we did build up better than usual, progress the ball through the middle better than usual, but when we got forward, there was nothing. And that is why Mina playing a Cole Alexander, who is a holding midfielder, and Umforce Ugutadla box to box, he doesn't have the legs. And that is why for so many times in the box, and then we had to recycle the ball because there was no one up front. Because the whole point of building up and progressing the ball, the whole point of soccer, football, is to get up front and score goals. If you're going to create chances but then there's no one in the box, then what's the point? Your midfielders are supposed to add to the front three. But if one member or one player who's part of the front three has the ball, then that means already we have two people up front. And if you're playing Cole, who can play good as a defensive midfielder, but you are playing him as an attacking midfielder, then it will take time for them to reach e-box. And we had my attack. Upaka was absent for the most part of the game. And obviously, the field was wet, it's understandable. But that's why I keep on saying, bring in fresh blood. And after we conceded the goal, it's this thing that I say that frustrates me and hurts me. The coach seems to know the right thing to do, but he only does it when he's desperate. Because the moment we conceded a goal, then that was the time where he thought of bringing in Uhadeb. And it was late. It's always just going to be a pressure situation. Ufaka a young player basically to come and rescue the game. Especially when they've not been getting game time. And their far post was always on. And our unused subs was Ubakas Nomashian. Now, Ubakas can play deep. Kipunang, Ubakas can play deep. And then Mo Fagumashiane. I saw a SuperSport, they were struggling with Upiliat because we were dribblish. If Ufagumashian, basically now you have one person who can dribble on the left and then you have another one on the right. Or you can even stick Upiliat in the middle, still uzokwazi ukudribblish abantu there. And on the other side you have Usehot. So you have up front abantu abakwazi ukudribblisha, abantu abane pace, and through the middle as well sekunoHadebe, sekunongcobo. You have legs, you have pace, you have technical ability. And it all goes to waste. Bahlale benchini. Another alternative, bekungaba ukuthi uMashiyana amthatha amdlale as a full back athathe uFrosta zomdlalisa kwa-right afake uBlom abe defensive midfield, because we did not need Unang, we did not see what he was doing, but the definite choice that we were supposed to have ukuba no-Baccus, and then ezokwazi ukuthi apike those balls in behind with more accuracy, because those balls were on. I-SuperSport had spaces behind the defense yabo, which you could have exploited, but we didn't. So overall, it's a disappointing loss. It's just difficult to watch. It's difficult to process, because where do we go from here? Because I don't think the management will fire the coach. So there's no point of always coming here like fire the coach, because it's not something that will happen. So I don't know, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and please do like this video. It will help YouTube to spread my content, the content on this channel, to more Kaizer Chiefs fans and other fans who will see this and laugh. It's okay. And until next time, Noma Gonje, of course, I'll pay no more.